And away we go.
And it's episode 29, part 3. I think this is going to be our last part.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about very briefly, the government shutdown, and then gas prices a little bit more. The government shutdown, I was confused because I kept hearing little things about shutdown.
Well, let's call it like some things are getting dysfunctional.
Right.
Not a complete shutdown. And not a shutdown in the sense of most people understand shutdown.
I'm not even sure what it's. Anyways, normal shutdown, you hear about it constantly and everybody's freaking out. But this one, it's isolated. I first read that it said it's, Homeland Security, and I was like, oh, good, they're not fighting ICE. That would be good. But the bad part, and this is spring break season, so everybody's traveling, it affects TSA. So all those people that are supposed to be, checking your luggage or whatever, assuming they're showing up at all, they're not getting paid, so they're probably, Anyways, not a good situation. I'm not even sure what else to say about that. So we'll move on.
Here in Texas and South by Southwest happening.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see the videos of the airport?
Yeah, like
there was a line. There was a outside of the airport, like a mile down the road.
Oh, and then
so it's a combination of the what's going down, here in
right.
Boston, South by Southwest, which is already a zoo, combined with this TSA thing, it just made it impossible.
Well, and like the Renaissance Festival that we like to go to, which is about an hour outside of town, there was a post that said, hey, I wanted to go, but I started going, and just outside of the festival, there was like a mile-long wait to get in. What's going on? And somebody responded back, well, it's South by Southwest and the first nice day of spring. What do you expect,
Mm-hmm.
But to go back to gas prices, we normal world, we haven't been in normal world for at least a year now, like to say that the correlation between gas prices and anything that the federal government or the president is doing is slim to none.
Well, sometimes it is, sometimes it is.
Yeah, but
there's so much going on with that.
The situation in Iran, unfortunately, is one of those things that is making it worse. And the craziest part is that most anybody who has any real knowledge of how things work has been telling us so. They before this happened, they said if you do X, Y, and Z, Iran's going to do exactly what they've been doing. Specifically, if Strait of Hormuz, I don't know. Yes, the strait that's up there. What it does is it controls the flow of Middle Eastern oil. That's basically, if almost everybody has to pass through there. We don't necessarily get our oil from there, but here's the key kicker that people forget. The way the oil market works, it affects the entire market, whether we get a drop from there or not. So it affects the prices we pay, even if our actual supply has not been affected, if that makes any sense.
Like we said earlier, this stuff has so much shit going on.
Yeah.
The price of oil is like the factors that determine that pricing is so convoluted and sometimes just arbitrary, it feels.
Yeah. But right now, what everybody's noticing, I've been putting out videos and stuff, is that the prices of oil has done two things. It's jumped. It's jumped again once or twice. It's jumped above thresholds that it hasn't in the last year or two. And it's done this weird thing that you can tell that they're basically being told where to price it at, where they don't normally. Like normally, if you drive around, you'll see the price jump, 5 cents here, 10 cents there, 1 penny there, whatever. But right now, we're in this weird thing where you drive around and you'll see one price that dominates 80% of the pumps, and then it just barely tweaks a little bit from that. That's telling you that there's some kind of collusion that's beyond the norm, But it's because of the state of national affairs that's all fucked up. And one claim that was made, Mr. Global, I assume a lot of people know who that is. Anyways, is that if the Strait of Hormuz is not fixed within about, I want to say like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks is what he said, something like that, then we're going to have like a global economic
just like in the 70s.
Yeah.
It was an Iran thing too in the 70s.
Right. So again, we've been here before. We have in so much, with Trump, we've been here before. With the U.S., we've been here before. And this is not the first rodeo. We should have known better. And we did know better, but we didn't stop it. So U.S. has, Trump has this crazy notion that we're going to all of these countries are going to, send ships and do everything they can as a military mode of getting something done, when they don't realize that Iran has been planning for something like this, God only knows how long, and they are more than willing. This is their best card up their sleeve that they have. They are not going to relinquish this come hell or high water. If we're smart, we'll just fucking back off. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. This is just stupid.
Look, he's biting off way more than he can chew once again. And the ambassador from Iran, one of these guys, literally, like, basically said, "Bring it on. Like, we're ready." Yeah. And that was the guy who was supposed to be like sweet talking with us. And they said something like, "Well, we'll come in and blah blah." And he said, "Okay." Just like the guy. He's like, "Bring it on." Look, we couldn't win, and look, we got Korea, stalemate. Vietnam lost, and now Vietnam is a better place to live than fucking the United States.
Iraq and Afghanistan.
Yeah. And you're not gonna fucking win. Right. Look, we don't have the moral high ground. We've got nothing. Nobody attacked us. If you're not willing to do what they did to Japan and Germany, which is fucking bomb every city to goddamn ground and start from day zero, you're not going to win.
And if you do that, our goodwill with every other nation out there is just gone.
Because we have no moral high ground to do that.
Yeah.
So we don't have any reason to do anything we're fucking doing. It's stupid. It's fucking stupid. So, yeah. Usher in the end times, I guess. I don't know what the fuck this is about. I'm just so sick of all of this shit, man. I'm just so sick and fed up with it. And it would be so nice if you could just, mind your own business, go to work, do your thing, kind of enjoy your life, blah, blah, blah. And I know a lot of people want to do that. They just really want to do that. They don't want to get involved, right? And they just want to be like, but it's disturbing my peace.
But
guess what? At some point, it's going to disturb your peace. You can't bury your fucking head in the sand anymore. Because this guy's shit is just so fucking off the charts bullshit that nobody can bear their head anymore. People, you got Trump derangement syndrome. We talked about this last week.
Trump derangement syndrome is not what caused somebody to go to our downtown and unalive 6 people or 4 people or whatever. Trump derangement syndrome is not the reason why I go to the grocery store and some of the stuff I buy jumped up by 40% overnight. Right. And I'm not making up that number. I did the math on it. I mean,
it is. Yeah. Everything. What did I do the other day? And it was like fucking 40-50% more. I'm like, is everything going up? Is every fucking thing going up?
Oh, speaking of which, I tried to think through it. And some things, the way inflation works, it goes up and it comes back down. Gas prices are like that. Up and down, up and down. Yeah. But then there are other things, and restaurant prices, not necessarily grocery prices, but restaurant prices, those fuckers don't come back down.
No, housing, like all this shit. Yeah, housing went back down a little bit. Like the last 2 years. But they're not down to where they were fucking 7 years ago.
Oh, and that's not going to be happening.
And they're never going to come down again. So, man, this shit's gone too far.
Right.
It's gone too far.
And by and large, the problem is that while that shit's not coming down, most people's wages aren't going up. So,
look, some of these fucking jerk off fucking Republicans and conservatives back in the old days of Eisenhower and even some of these guys, coming up with the neocons, McCain and, who else did you have that, who ran that one time who lost?
Why can't I remember his name? Not McCain. It was after McCain. The one right after McCain.
So these guys, right?
The Mormon guy. I can't remember his name now.
Whatever the fuck his name was. So these guys, right? Look, they understood at least enough to toss some people a bone, a scrap of meat once in a while, and they'll shut the fuck up, right? But this guy, man, he won't even give you the crumbs off the fucking plate. He won't even give you the crumbs.
In fact, he'll show you the plate and it'll break the plate and it'll be like, fuck you.
Exactly. He'll break it over your head and tell you to fucking lick his boot. Like, the social contract is broke, man.
And if you were complaining about Biden and his mental state, then you were not paying attention because this guy is making Biden look like a genius every time that he said something wrong.
He would do all that, right? And then make you apologize to him for making him do that.
Yeah.
Apologize to me for breaking that plate over your head. This
I wish I had some good news.
If I didn't have a sense of humor, I think it would be all over.
I mean, the closest thing that I've got to good news at the moment is I still think that Trump himself is going to we're going to wake up tomorrow or a week from now and he's just going to be dead.
I hope so. Everybody I keep on seeing this shit.
I mean, his health is terrible. He's in his early 80s. I mean, how the fuck is this dude?
Look,
I know all of you out there because you're in internet land. You see all these announcements about famous singer, famous actor dies, and a bunch of them are just like in their 60s. This dude is in his 80s. He's never taken good care of himself. How the fuck is he still alive?
Why won't he just die already?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and people, you've probably seen them too. They're like, the day it happens, when it happens.
Though I will say,
people are like, there's going to be parties in the street.
It's going to be a little bit like Kristi Noem, though. I'll party for about a day and then I'll go, oh, Vance, fuck. Yeah.
No,
but for the first 5 minutes, maybe the first day, yes. Yeah, well,
Now we got to deal with these assholes.
Right.
But I've said it, and maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm not. These guys don't have it. They don't have it. They're going to go back in the research.
Yeah, we're not conned by that charisma, but obviously of the charisma that Trump has, a lot of people are. But a lot of MAGA isn't. They're not charmed by the most of the rest of MAGA. They're charmed by him and him alone. That's the point.
There's enough of MAGA that will fade off when he dies or is gone. It's not all going away. None of this shit is going away. Not for decades. Not for centuries, maybe. Hopefully sooner than that, but this shit is going away.
Yeah.
It's this form. This is the last ditch effort of these Christian nationalists, and I have more fear about what these techno fascists are up to than anything else. Yeah. And they'll fucking put. Look, if it comes down to it, if this stuff did pan out the way they really wanted it to, which it won't, they would kick aside those Christian nationalists at some point.
Yeah.
And the Christian nationalists would have nothing to stand on. So, I mean, they do have the billionaires here in Texas backing them.
Right.
But those guys don't have, they don't have what these...
I mean, let's look at Musk. Musk is about to be the first trillionaire. That's how much fucking insane.
Well, you have... let's just not get into that.
Right. We've done it. We'll do it again. Not right now.
Not right now. We could talk about Yarvin, Teal, Musk, and that band of brothers.
If you don't recognize all of those names, look them up. Yeah.
And Anderson. These guys are fucking literally out of a comic book evil villains.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor shit. So
no, I mean, if you saw the last Superman, the Lex Luthor that they had in that, he was clearly supposed to be patterned after Musk.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Because he is. He's a fucking cartoon character at this point. All these guys are fucking cartoonishly evil and stupid. So, yeah. What are you going to do?
Anyways, if you think of good news, put it in the comments.
Please.
If you're a MAGA, fuck off because we're just going to delete and block you. But,
Yeah.
You'll probably do it anyways. I've noticed that. One of the last videos I had, I posted it TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook. Good conversation on Facebook, agreement on TikTok, and I got like 5 comments on YouTube, and they were all MAGA, just like randomly saying shit like, "Oh, you must not be married. Oh, you must be a faggot." Whatever. What does that have to do with politics? Not that any of it's true, but what the fuck, dude?
It's so stupid. It was just these guys, man. Like I said, they can't argue at any point.
Right.
At any point, they do make it so dumb. And the conversation's been over. I don't even argue with these people anymore. I just laugh at them and call them an idiot.
No, I didn't even bother to block those. It was like, I'll just leave them there, whatever. Didn't
even comment.
No, I did. I tried it first, and then YouTube's weird. They're all different.
Can you just delete it?
I can, and I might go back, but honestly, it's kind of amusing to see those comments because I got enough of views and stuff that obviously people are happy about it too. It's just the happy people didn't comment. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Some days are better than others.
Yeah.
Some comments are better than others.
Right.
So. I don't know. I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
Peter, I was getting exhausted after this shit. Pretty much. I tried during the week. I keep up with the news. I try to limit it. I've been trying to limit it the last couple weeks because this is I'm trying to play the long game here.
Yeah.
And it can be exhausting to just constantly. And I know some people, will have this argument. Well, you should be, out there and doing more because, look at the people that are suffering and they don't have a choice, and you're just in a
But some
position
of it's like you implied is mental health. If what you're doing is getting you to the point where you can't continue to fight, then that's not helpful. That's not helpful.
But the argument for them becomes like, yes, you can. It's like, dude,
no,
speak for yourself.
you really.
Everybody's
maybe random dude
different.
can, but what's the random dude doing with the rest of his life?
Right.
I mean, he might be some asshole who didn't bother to vote the last time, in which case his credibility drops right there. Who knows? I'm just saying.
Even if he did, look, everybody's can contribute in their best way that they can, the way they can. Is my.
I mean, if you're putting your head in the sand and you're like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that's
look.
a problem.
If you're doing nothing, at the very least, call people an asshole and tell them to shut the fuck. Like, you're an idiot. You're wrong. Do that at least. When you see somebody say something stupid, call them out. Dude, look, that's the bare minimum. The bare minimum is like, dude, that's dumb.
Yeah.
Dude, are you serious right now? That's the bare minimum.
Or like what I've learned to do is if you can't engage, then walk away. Like if there's a conversation and you're like, fuck, that's fucked up. First, walk away from it.
Or I call them out at least. I'd be like, dude, you're wrong. Bye. They'll try to have a conversation. I'll be like, no, there is none. Bye. You're an idiot. And then you make sure everybody around knows they're an idiot. Hey, look at this idiot. Yeah. Look at the idiot. Well, and then if they ask why, then you explain to that person.
Well, just quick reminder, and then maybe we'll cut this off. But if you're usually online, sometimes in person, but whatever, if you're seeing something where the conversation doesn't seem to make sense from the perspective of convincing the person that you're arguing with, realize that you're not arguing with that person. You're putting on a show for everybody else is what you're doing. Yeah. You're trying. The lesson is for everybody else around that's hearing you, not for the person you're talking to, who you probably don't give two shits about.
You might as well be talking to a lamppost. Right. Because it really doesn't matter. Because that's what you are, essentially, a brain dead, inanimate object, because they're so baked in the sauce. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, it's called preaching to the choir, and it's not always a bad thing.
Right. Or if there does happen to be some people, and maybe it's more than I think, that like I said, most people just want to go about their day and not worry about this shit. And as long as they can watch their movies and turn on their TV and go to work and have their family and take a vacation once in a while, they don't give a fuck. Now, I can't live my life that way because I'm always thinking about things and I want to do something and go places.
Or what I've discovered,
my life has to be a little more exciting than that. But also, for most people, that's all they need.
But what I've discovered is that once you've deconstructed from some of these things, you can't go back in. You can't go back to it. I don't care if it's religion or political or something else.
But let's just say for these people, right, who were never engaged in politics, who are now hearing this shit and it's starting to affect them. Maybe we could get to some of those people.
Some of them. I have no idea how many or what percentage or whatever. Some of them. Let's just leave it at that.
Maybe it's enough.
Enough. Hopefully. Hopefully
it's enough so that the next election they get up off their butt and they go, you know what? Because look, it's got to be a lot out because the majority of the people in this country don't vote. Yeah. So I'm talking about these people.
No, I know.
They don't care. So maybe they'll hear this shit. They'll be like, God, I hate fucking politics. They're all fucking full of shit.
Maybe it's a myth, but the nice thing for us to believe is the idea that if a good chunk of these non-voting people got out, maybe they would vote with brains instead of the way some of these people are voting,
I really think they would, because the people on the right, their conviction is so, ingrained. Yeah. Where these people, like I said, they don't care. They don't want to care. They just want to live a life. And I can almost understand that in a way if my brain was shut off or something.
Well, if you didn't realize that everything is fucking interconnected, and that's probably part of the problem with the right and the whole MAGA concept is, hey, we can isolate ourselves. No, we can't.
Yeah. Their idea of utopia is a gated fucking fence and a bunch of fucking weapons, and God's gonna save them.